Hello. Welcome to Easy Does It. My name is Easy, and I'm here doing it. Oh, man. That game was, it took a lot out of me, man. I'm telling you, that Sunday game against Cleveland was very frustrating, as we all know at this point. I'm going to lament over it with Mr. Chicago once he hops on. There's too much to say about that. First being like, I don't know what Luke Getsy thinks he's doing. He's a very troubled offensive coordinator. He calls plays like he's drawing them out of a hat. I don't like him. Or I'm sure he's a fine person, but I don't think he's very good at his job. Keep on going back and thinking of that 4th and 1 play where you got Justin Fields out on the edge and he just barely gets tripped up. Could have had a first down late in the fourth quarter. Could have had, set us up, in field goal range, unless, I don't know what fucking field goal range was in that game, because obviously at the end of the first half, the Bears decided, we're not going to kick a field goal, not even going to bother trying it, because, man, I don't know why. Well, actually, I do know why. It was because of the wind. I guess there was a big, heavy wind blowing in their direction. So, yeah, okay. I don't blame them for not kicking the field goal. Like if the kicker wasn't comfortable with it, then I get it. You don't want to put your team, you don't want to put your kicker in a position where he's going to miss. And, then, crazy shit happens when field goals are missed at the end of halves, as we know as Bears fans. Really, like whenever there's a wind and, a missed field goal, like we've been on the receiving end of some positive plays from that. 2005, Nathan Vasher, 2006, Devin Hester, 1 year apart, almost to the day. I understand that decision. There's a lot to criticize about Eberflus, especially after this game. And of course, after the Broncos game and the first Lions game, all of which should have been wins. Yeah, there's a lot to criticize about that man. But one thing I'm not going to criticize is his actually, I jumped in like I was going to criticize it, but I'm not. I'm not criticizing his decision to not kick the field goal there, because I think it was the right move. I do think it was the right move. Crazy shit happens. And, you had to get a few more yards in that situation if you wanted to kick a field goal. The Bears weren't able to do so. And so I don't blame them necessarily for trying the Hail Mary. Now, I do hope that the NFL goes back and retroactively takes away the interception, just for the sake of Justin Fields, just because I don't want to be explaining all offseason where people are like, oh, Justin Fields threw 15 interceptions this year. I don't want to have to keep on saying like, okay, but two of them were on a Hail Mary and one of them shouldn't have counted because it hit the ground. Like, I don't want to have to explain that every time I'm defending Justin Fields, because it's such bullshit. Like, he led a really nice drive at the end of the first half, put the Bears in position to not necessarily to take the lead. They put him in position into theoretical field goal range. Obviously, it wasn't field goal range for this game. And, part of it is because, like, the Browns played really good defense on that last drive of the first half. I can't remember the corner, but someone broke up a really nice pass from Mooney. And pass to Mooney. I think it was on a 3rd and 3 or something. But yeah, I just credit where it's due because the Browns have a hell of a defense. And I think Justin Fields, I'm going to talk about Justin Fields' performance because he wasn't great. I think that everyone can objectively see that he didn't have a great game. I don't even think he had necessarily a good game, but he had a decent game. He also, was not getting help from most of his receivers, exception DJ Moore, of course. DJ Moore always come into play, even though, he's a little hobbled. That's a tough guy. That's a really tough guy, coming in there making some big plays despite having some injuries. But he wasn't getting help at all, obviously, from Mooney, and I'll get into that shortly. And Robert Tonyan obviously dropping that wide open pass. Like, oh man, if I could put together a montage of Chicago Bears receivers just absolutely shitting the bed and dropping easy passes. I say easy passes. Obviously, I can't do much better than that, but I'm not an NFL player. Although, I have some pretty good hands. What up, face green, smiling, crazy ace? Welcome to the show, my friend. Always glad to have you here. You made some good points on the last show. But yeah, what was I talking about? Justin Fields making some plays that, he was not getting any help. The pressure, from the defensive line was really in his face all game. And I'm not even going to really spend too much time harping on the offensive line for that either, because this Cleveland defensive line really does a number on every offensive line that they face. They really gave the Niners hell this season. It was a lot. What up? Yeah, I am easy. I noticed that I said that too. What up, Lorenzo? Welcome to the show. It's going good, crazy years. Well, look, it's going well, but if I'm being honest, I'm still bitter. Shit, I'm still bitter about that loss because right now, if the Bears hold on, if one of those things that goes wrong ends up going right for the Bears, we're talking about a 6-8 team that has a legitimate shot at making the playoffs. Playoffs? Yeah, playoffs. Ace, I'm with you. I get they're a top defense, but we could have beat them. We had them. Like, there's like, Sweeney Todd once said, I had him, his throat was bare beneath my hand. He had his razor right there, and now he'll never come again. That opportunity will never come again, at least for this year. But hey, eventually Sweeney ended up killing the judge, and now the Bears need to kill the judge. This analogy is going to fall on a lot of deaf ears, but I think my dad is listening to the show, so he'll understand. Shout out to my pops. Anyhow, there's more to talk about of this game, of course, while I play with a toothpick. This hurt more than the Detroit loss. I'd say so too. I mean, in some ways, the Detroit loss sucked. I was very mad after that. And it sucked because, that's against your rival. You're on the road. You have a lead. The throat is right there, and you just can't seal the deal. Yeah, that sucked. The Detroit loss sucked. But this one was like, it didn't even feel like, obviously it was in our control, but it also felt like something just snapped in the universe. It felt like, like a Bears fan took off his lucky shirt, or, a Browns fan maybe like put back on his lucky underwear or something. And then all of a sudden, like, whoom, everything just changed. All the momentum, you felt it. Even like, what's his name? Trent Taylor muffs a punt. Immediately, the play after that, the Bears get an interception. So, that wasn't as much of a momentum shift as I thought it was. Really, the real momentum shift was that 4th and 1 play where Fields just barely could not get around the edge. That's when it felt like a Bears fan took off the fucking hat that he's been wearing, or a Browns fan finally put on his lucky hat. And next thing you know, everything went to shit. Like Flacco was making these gorgeous throws that were somehow beating the coverages, and it was Groundhog Day in a lot of ways too, because like this is what happened against the Broncos, this is what happened against the Lions, and I don't want y'all to think that I'm like absolving the coaching staff, because they needed to not let this happen. But like, I'm sorry, the fact that this it won't show. There we go. The fact that that ended up as an interception for the Browns, like that I can't explain that. I can't explain that with anything beyond eighth dimensional physics. How does it hit him in the belly, squawk, and not end up being a touchdown? Sorry about that, squawk. There was something that had to happen. I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. We had a moment. There was just a precious moment where that ball, like the game is in Mooney's hands, and he just flails out, kicks it away. Yeah, it's absolutely fucking brutal. Anyway, I'm gonna welcome my first guest to the show. We got two guests who's gonna be joining us. Mr. Chicago will be here pretty soon, but I got head coach of the somethings. Great football coach, a good longtime friend of mine, Noah Gross, is gonna join me today. Noah Gross, how's it going, man?
Oh, another day in Eagle Paradise as always.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, Eagle Paradise is getting a little dubious too, and when we could talk about that at some point, because NFC is tangentially related to the Bears, and I truly look. It was hard for me to be sympathetic towards you after what I went through on Sunday,
which is always valid, always valid.
But like, I get it, man. Like that was a tough loss that y'all experienced. But I'm gonna tell everyone what you texted me after the Bears game. You said this, like, I took it like maybe you were tongue in cheek, maybe you were just making fun of me, but like I took it earnestly. You said, if you said after this game that I don't care about football anymore, like I'm done with football, I would totally understand.
Yeah.
And yeah, no,
to be clear, I meant it truly earnestly in a way of, if a thing that I loved this much did that to me, I don't know if I'd love that thing as much anymore, regardless of whether it's football, whatever it may be. If a thing that I cared that much about did that to me and made me feel those things, I'd be like, I'm salty. I'm a little mad. I'd be a little mad. I can't deny that.
No, this is one of those that, like, obviously I compartmentalize my sports feelings and my real feelings just in life. But
a thing we all should be doing.
Yes. Oh no, we all should be doing. But then that compartmentalization, like when I go from real world to sports, then sports becomes hell, because that's just kind of what I'm living in. And oh man, yeah, it's baseball season, baby. Let's go. It's
pitchers and catchers report in 56 days.
56 days. 56. Pitchers and catchers.
Look at me.
Hopefully, the Cubs are able to get some good ones. But I'm not going to talk much about baseball right now, because I'm still on the Bears, and we are still. We have a 1% chance of making the playoffs still.
Hey, it's a chance. A chance.
So you're saying there's a chance.
There was a time and place when the Eagles had an 8% chance of making the playoffs on a Sunday and ended up in one of the greatest days of my life. So hey,
which one was that? Was that when y'all beat the Cowboys?
Cowboys at home and slaughtered them at home. We needed like the Raiders to beat the Bucks, a bunch of other things, and it all bang, 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 bang. Sunday Night Football, and I'll never forget my personal memory from it. There's a lot of great memories, obviously. There's one where after they were already blowing them out, there was a strip on the sideline, and Lito Shepherd takes it back the other way. And I remember behind my dad started singing the song that they would play at Lincoln Financial Field when Lito Shepherd would do anything to Lito.
Yep.
And I'll never forget my dad singing that as Lito Shepherd brings it back down the sideline as the Eagles are making the playoffs. One of my favorite Eagle memories.
Yeah, no, that was. I'm pretty sure, by the way, I think y'all did need a loss from the Bears. And the Texans did
appreciate y'all clutching it up.
Yeah, hey, that's what we do. Again, and I don't know if I told you this or if I was telling it to my dad, but the Bears, it's almost our job to play the role of villain in the success stories of other teams. But we're not like we're not. But look. But we're not like.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it was just.
No, it's okay. Look, by all means, like, and I'm not talking. Hey, Jeremy, welcome to the show, man. And I'm not talking about like, cool villain. We're not like the Voldemort. We're not Darth Vader. We're not Thanos. We're like a Malfoy. If we're lucky.
I like that.
Yeah, we're like a Malfoy. I'm ready. Look, and I'm okay with the Bears being villains, right? I'm okay with that. Like, because sometimes the bad guy wins and it's cool, and it's fun and all, and it's like, and I like having a target on my back like that. Honestly, like Philly's the villain for a lot of teams. I'd argue.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people hate the Eagles. I don't. I like the teams that people hate. So
what was the name of the guy who was the villain in the Smurfs who was always trying to like capture them or whatever?
I don't know. I've never watched.
That's what the Bears are. They're like Tom from Tom and Jerry.
They're
lovable villains.
We're like Diesel from Thomas the Tank Engine.
That's a good one. That's a good.
That's what we are. Like we're not very threatening.
Great reference.
We're not threatening. But hey, look, and yeah, again, I don't mind playing the role of villain all the time, but like Jesus Christ, like we are not a good villain right now. But like that game was just like, oh man, I don't understand.
Rough.
The ball just bouncing off the guy's belly. And
I mean, even before that, Joe Flacco hitting Njoku and him just like not being able to be tackled in any capacity by any player on the planet. We just can't tackle David Njoku.
Yeah.
Or Amari Cooper catching a ball between two guys and going up the sideline. Like, come on.
Three guys. Don't do us short. There was three guys.
Three. Oh, my sincerest apologies.
Yeah, but like, hey, that was bad too. But look, and look, I'm trying to compartmentalize again a little bit because, and by the way, thank you, Lorenzo, for noticing my Sweeney Todd reference. I appreciate it.
Very well.
But what was I gonna say? I'm trying to take some, because the thing is, when I'm looking at this objectively, there are certainly, and I'm not just saying this as like, okay, the future's bright, but like there are bright spots to take away from this game. For example, like you let up that big play to Amari Cooper. That is three young players. Brisker, I think Gordon might have been there, and I don't know. Was it Jalen Johnson? I don't know. Like just a young secondary not able to make the play on the ball. It happens, right? Like young players will make mistakes like this.
Young players are young.
The defense is playing a lot better. A lot, like there's no question. The Bears have a good defense. Like they have been a good defense. Unfortunately, not so good in the fourth quarter of games, which is a big problem, obviously. But even so, like I can't blame the defense for this loss because the offense wasn't doing them any favor. Hey, Dad, welcome to the show.
Bravo.
But yeah, defense not doing us any favors. Offense not doing us any favors. Defense getting exhausted by the end of the game. Another good thing I'm going to say after this game, Noah, and you could agree with me on this if you want to. You might not agree with me, but I am going to say I like Ryan Poles. I think he is a good GM. I think he knows what he's doing, and I'm okay with some of the mistakes he's made.
Yeah. I think I overall agree with that statement. Really, the only glaring whiff is Claypool.
Right, but
beyond that, he's drafted pretty dang well, particularly in like the middle rounds. Like Tevin Jenkins has been a find. Brisker, despite that play, has been a find. He's had some nice finds.
Tyreek Stevenson, who you loved, by the way,
out of Miami,
made one of the sickest interceptions I've seen.
No, he's played some good ball.
He's played real good ball.
I really like the kid from Florida they got.
He's been really showing up.
And even the Claypool trade, it wasn't so much looking back on it. It was at a time it makes sense. It was only because the pick ended up being so high that we looked at it like, oh, it was such a bad trade. And the fact Claypool then was like,
Look, I'm gonna address that because the Claypool trade, absolute whiff. But you know what I like? He fucking swung.
Yeah.
Took that chance, and I respect the hell out of that. And more than that, not only did he take that chance, but he wasn't afraid to do the same thing this year. Even after just a complete whiff. That takes balls, and I respect the fuck out of that.
Which is why I think he's going to be more inclined.
That's something that Phil Emery would never have done. That's something
I think he's going to be more inclined to, and we've talked about this at length, I think it's why he might be more inclined to actually stick with Justin for another year and either command a king's ransom for Caleb or just sit pretty and take Marv. I think that with that ballsiness, with that arrogance is the wrong word, confidence especially because I feel like where Chicago is currently at with ownership, there's already been a lot of upheaval. There's been a lot of change in the last few years. I was just recently for a class of mine writing about how like the potential move to Arlington and all that drama going on. I think that like as of right now, it might make sense for, as an organization, to be change averse, given a lot of the change in the last 3 to 5 years. And I think we talked about, has Justin shown enough to give you another year? Personally, I think Caleb is that good that I still would take Caleb. I absolutely see a world now, as opposed to a month ago, where Ryan Poles goes, I believe in this guy, so I'm going to stick with him. I see it way more now than I did a month ago.
I respect that, because you were pretty bullish on Caleb, and I
still am. He's everything I thought I said. I still.
We're pretty steadfast on the Bears taking Caleb.
Which whoever has number 1 overall should take him. To be clear, I still think the Bears should take him. I think Poles', to use your words, ballsiness will lead him to be more inclined to keep Justin, because was Justin Ryan's guy or no?
No, he was Ryan Pace's guy, not Ryan
Poles.
Oh,
okay. See, I got Pace and Poles confused.
Yeah, no, and Matt Eberflus, it's fucking confusing.
Complete opposite. In that case, everyone ignore what I just said. Complete opposite. It's not his guy. It's why even I got my Ryan's lost. My bad, y'all. Inverse now. If Justin does play decently well over the last month or so, I think he goes, no, Caleb is this good. I am this confident that I want my guy. Look at all my other swings that I took and hit on. Let me take this swing.
Yeah, I get it, and I guess the point I make by bringing up Ryan Poles is that, like, I trust Poles to make the right decision. I do, and if that means he's going to move on from Judson and draft Caleb Williams, while I don't necessarily want that, because I do think that one more year with Fields will prove to be good. I do think, like, he was still a really good quarterback in the draft. I think he's going to be. And I do think, like, improvements on the coaching staff. Starting with the head coach, of course. I think
right.
I do think building around Justin is a smart thing to do. If they do decide to go the Caleb Williams direction, I'll just be like I'll be able to move on pretty quickly.
Right. And the one thing I want to say, because Anthony made a comment about it, I agree, coaches. This is just one thing that I have heard from just a number of Bears fans, friends of mine, and I need everyone to understand this isn't a thing. Matt Eberflus will not be the defensive coordinator next year with a new head coach. That won't be a thing, guys. It's never been a thing in the history of the NFL. We have searched it up. There's been a time where a former OC has come back, a former head coach came back to there's an OC. It won't happen. Now, what I think the Bears should or could or I would understand if they did, keep him as the head coach, but bring in a former offensive head coach to completely run the offense. Maybe a Frank Reich. I think makes a ton of sense for Chicago. A little bit out there, there's a certain coach at UCLA who may not want to deal with the new NIL things and might see his shot getting back into the NFL. Maybe Chip Kelly makes sense as an offensive.
Which coach? I don't know. I don't know. Call it
Chip Kelly.
Chip. Oh boy,
spicy.
Ooh, boy. That's spicy. That's kind of that's spicy.
Or hypothetically, let's say the Buccaneers decide to move on from Todd Bowles. Byron Leftwich. I think Leftwich would make sense. Like a guy, even though he's not been a head coach, guys who have coaching experience to completely run the offense, so he can sort of be the de facto offensive head coach. Wink, wink. And then Eberflus can kind of just be doing the defense. Wink, wink. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I
Chip's out there. I think Frank Reich is like the perfect guy.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I like what you're saying.
Or let's say hypothetically, I know you're going to hate this name, or again, not the name itself, but the framework of, let's say Dallas moved on from Mike McCarthy. Forgetting who he is and where he was previously, I know Green Bay, he would make so much sense there. You know what I mean? That sort of idea of a former offensive head coach to run the offense.
I'm a McCarthy guy, and I say that as I hate what he's done because I hate Green Bay, but sure.
Trust me, I got it now.
I think Mike McCarthy is. Sean Payton is seen as this offensive genius. Like, he's seen as like this, super brilliant guy. Mike McCarthy is seen as some scrub who just like rode Aaron Rodgers. But why can't you say the same about Drew Brees and Sean Payton? It's because Sean Payton is a conventionally handsome guy, and Mike McCarthy's kind of a fat fuck. I'm sorry. That's just the reality. That is the reason why. Like, if you look at them, they're very similar. They both won one Super Bowl. They both have some monumental playoff collapses.
Could argue both underachieved,
they have very similar records.
Their divisions.
Pardon?
But could argue both underachieved throughout their careers in their respective spots, given the overall weakness of the division around them, given their time there.
Yes, yeah, I could definitely agree with that. Although some of those Falcons teams were really good. some of those.
I would say I would say more for McCarthy. Other than a couple of like Bears teams that cause problems, the Vikes Lions didn't do anything.
I think more for I'd argue it's been more of a struggle for Peyton with the Saints. Like I think that. Well, actually, no, you're right. You're right. More for McCarthy. I'm sorry, I kind of twisted what you said, but yeah. But yeah, look, but still, I do think, and you know, the main criticism of McCarthy is sometimes he just gets a little too conservative, maybe a little too old school. But like, he's a hell of a coach. And yeah, if he wanted to be an offensive coordinator, like and exclusively that, sure, whatever. I don't think he's going to do that. But Frank Reich, I'm let's see. Wait, I want to see what
Can I throw a name at you, and I want to hear your overall thought on it. Urban Meyer.
Crooked comment. How would you feel about draft at QB in the later rounds, like a McCarthy and give Fields his last season? Yeah, you know,
McCarthy won't be in the later rounds. He's around 1 pick.
McCarthy won't. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna.
But like, if you said like, oh, take a
also, I think he's
like the 4th, 5th round.
Yeah, sure. I don't think he's gonna be good.
Yeah, like the kid at Coastal Carolina has put up a lot of stats. I haven't done my deep dive on sort of the deeper quarterback prospects left, but like Jordan Travis, if you want to take a risk that maybe, you know, sort of like Hendon Hooker this year, take a redshirt year with his leg, see what he comes back and looks like. Yeah, I think I make a ton of. I personally have the belief, and this is an Eagle, like I think I listen like an Eagles thing. Draft a quarterback every 2 years. Doesn't matter what round it's in. Agreed. Always be getting new arms into the building.
My dad says no Urban Meyer. Yeah, we know.
So that I agree, a little too much, but it's like I could see if they were like, we're so like in need of whatever we got to do to get those wins.
Come on.
I'm like, are we at that point?
Yeah, remember when he was kicking?
We've had private conversations where I go, oh, we're getting desperate for some victories here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's like no, God,
it's Urban. It's too much. I agree.
Urban's too much. Lane Kiffin, you could sell me on him, but not.
Oh wow, that would be really interesting. Going down to the college ranks and getting someone like that would be crazy.
What was the name you were going to throw out towards me?
Oh, so it was going to be so there was another name I was thinking about, and I know things haven't exactly like gone great for him. If Brian Dable gets fired by the Giants, because there are rumors floating around that some members of the staff don't like him. The defensive staff feels like he puts too much of the blame on them when they're winning. I don't know if I've read some of these trickling reports from Giants beat writers. I think Dable could make a really interesting fit in Chicago.
Yeah, you know, I don't hate that. You know, he's done some really good work, but I do like the idea of someone like that, someone who maybe failed as a head coach, but like was a really, really good offensive coordinator.
Right.
Also, you know, I'm hoping Bieniemy moves on, but I think he's the heir apparent to Rivera.
Yeah.
But like, you know, just someone who gets it, someone who just gets ball, someone who knows what the fuck they're doing. And you know, I've heard like the Dolphins offensive coordinator's name.
Yeah, they're OC and quarterback.
You know, like, you know, that guy is a McDaniels writer. I just like, even from the beginning, I was never behind Luke Getsy. And the reason is anyone who's just Aaron Rodgers' offensive coordinator isn't doing a job. Like they're just, you know, like that's one of those things where it's just the easiest job in the world. It's like being Peyton Manning's offensive coordinator. Like, what do you do? You just kind of listen to what the quarterback wants to do.
Well, so this would be my question, and this will be my question to you. And unfortunately, I got to hop off, but I'm sure Miss Chicago will be on soon. So it's sort of like the issues with the Bears. Clearly, it's not a skill position because DJ Moore is really great. I'm personally a really big Darnell Moon. Like, they're good at receiver. Tight end, Cole Kmet, top 10 in this league, in my opinion. They're good there. Offensive line, really can't complain about it. As far as investment along the line, you've got multiple first-round picks, multiple high-priced free agents. They've really invested there. Running back, it feels like you're a huge Deontay Foreman fan. I think he is as Foreman. Perfectly fine and perfectly averagely fine as he's ever going to be. Would you rather see a high-priced resource in the offseason invested at running back, say maybe like a Saquon Barkley as a free agent, or would you rather see that used to reinforce the offensive line, whether that be on the interior or the exterior? What do you think is of more value to them right now?
I think in general, offensive line is more valuable than running backs in today's NFL. That's it. Look, I wouldn't complain about getting like
overall. I'd agree.
You know, it would be nice to have a Saquon, that's for sure, especially if we're like rolling with Justin still. But yeah, I mean, I think right now the more value is. Well, I want to draft a center. I'd like to see them draft a center in the second or third round. Like the kid from
there's a guy at Wisconsin. He's got 3. It's like a John something like that. Got interesting profile. Former 5-star recruit, ended up playing D line. Has only played center for like a year and then got hurt. But he's an interesting fit there. But no, I get that. I think I agree that like offensive line is more valuable as a unit than like a singular running back. I think as the Bears are currently constructed, a bell cow running back could do a lot for them. I'm not saying maybe like Christian McCaffrey for the Niners level, but like
Christian
Derrick
McCaffrey
Henry for the Titans level.
I
I think that type of like that is the value you
But
are.
look, just to be clear, Christian McCaffrey is like he's the Hall of
next
Famer
level,
right now.
right? It's a different.
Yeah,
it's a different type of thing.
He's a special guy. But yeah, no. Look, Derrick Henry, I would definitely take a swing for Derrick Henry. Just because partially the name, but also I don't know how much he has in the tank. I think he's at that like there's like a threshold,
right? Or even just more in that like in that Derrick Henry like sort of percentage wise. If McCaffrey gives us that much value, he's not that much lower. He still provides a tremendous amount of value to the Titans. But like, would you argue that like, would you rather have an offensive line or Derrick Henry? Well, yeah, I'd still rather have an offensive line, but for the Bears specifically, you could argue Derrick Henry would provide more value right now, as far as that like bell cow, take the ball out of whether it's just
he doesn't fit at all. He doesn't fit at all in the current scheme.
Like, no, I'm not saying specifically Derrick Henry. I'm saying a running back who takes, let's say Derrick Henry is whatever the numbers are currently, 40% of all of the Titans' yardage. I think that type of player could be more valuable to the Bears rather than try to do the give Roschon 10 touches, give Foreman some touches, whether it's Justin or the rookie next year, take the ball out of their hands, someone who can get the ball 20 times a game.
I agree to that, but it's also like, they haven't given Roschon like a chance.
It's been so frustrating for both of us because he was a huge draft all in combined.
Yeah, I love Roschon. Watching him, like he's one of those guys. He's got like
Kamara was my comp.
He's got a certain pardon.
Kamara was my comp, not as a pass catcher, but that sort of like didn't get a lot of touches in college, can do all of it for you at the next level. Underrated size. I was a huge Roschon fan.
Yeah, he's just like he's got that certain level of bounce to him. Like he's got
bounce and balance.
Hangs in, to block and all that. Like I like Roschon. And I don't know, you coach ball obviously at the high school level, but like, and you've watched a lot of ball. Can you explain like the importance of having a running back who's able to like get into rhythm? Like just having like a feature back. Like can you just speak to that? Even in today's NFL.
That's why I think it's so valuable because the Bears offense a lot of times this year has seemed out of rhythm. Like you said, it seems like a lot of the play calling isn't flowing or isn't flowing into itself, so to speak. Having a guy who like gets in there, it's especially harder for as an offensive lineman. That's what I played. You get your snaps and you get in your rhythm. You do your pass set. You know what your plant leg is. You start to learn what the guy in front of you is doing. When you're a running back, it's a little different, but like, okay, is the defensive tackle swimming inside or outside when we run inside dive? Well, if I only run inside dive once and then someone else runs it 3 times and then I go out there and run it again, it's a completely different play now. Now the linebacker's in a different place. Now they're hanging the linebacker off the edge. It's a completely different play. Your keys are different. Your angles are different. It's a whole new thing. So it's really, really difficult for a running back to like consistently churn out yardage when they aren't consistently seeing what the defense is doing in front of them. And the view you're getting from the sideline is very, very different. And again, especially if you have someone that you feel confident saying, hey, go chuck it 40 times a game. Yeah, go back by committee. Like you're fine, you know what I mean? Because you can do what you got to do. Right. When the Bears don't really want to do that, then you got to have that bell cow back. Unfortunately, I do have to hop off. I appreciate being on as always. I appreciate the listeners as always. When Mr. Chicago is on, give him my best as always, and I will be in the comments as I am able to.
Thanks a lot, Noah. Always great to have you on the show. And hopefully Mr. Chicago joins soon. As to what Noah was just saying about running backs, like Roschon Johnson had 5 carries for 36 yards against the Browns. That's a good game. He had a really nice game, but only 5 carries. Justin Fields had more carries than him. Obviously, some of those not designed, some of those improvised. And why are we having the quarterback throw it 40 times? I'm sorry, that's stupid. It's just stupid. It's stupid, man. It's stupid. I hate it. God, that was the worst game plan I've ever seen, especially when you have the lead. It's okay to run the ball against a great defense on the road when you have the lead. You should be running the ball. You should be establishing the run. I know, you want to like stomp on their throat. You could stomp on the team's throat by running the ball. And then, open up play action and take your deep shots to DJ Moore. Gosh, it pisses me off. Thank you, Robbo, for commending Noah and obviously me. I know you commend me all the time. By the way, have you checked out the Chicago Clubhouse podcast merch store. If not, you got to check out the In the Zone Sportswear website. We got some really great stuff. And yeah, you know what? I think this is a good time to pay some bills. So let's pay some bills with the In the Zone ad. Yeah, you know, I want to, first off, definitely check out In the Zone. They got some really, really fun apparel relating to Chicago Clubhouse podcast. Secondly, I want to address this comment because this is very interesting. This is something that I talked about for a while about the Bills. Josh Allen is an excellent quarterback. He does some amazing things. He's a great playmaker. I see some parallels between Justin Fields and Josh Allen. But like, the Bills, the reason why the Bills hadn't been able to get to the next level is because they were demanding way too much out of him over the course of the season. They were asking him to be the number one running back in addition to throwing the ball 40, 50 times a game. That's not going to work. That's not the recipe for success. You have to have balance. There's absolutely when you're leading a game in the fourth quarter by 10 points, there's absolutely no excuse for not having a good balance of run and pass. There's no excuse for that. Not when you have the lead. When you have the lead, you have to be smarter than that. Now, I guess maybe if you have like a Mahomes or a Brady, like a Hall of Fame quarterback, but not a year 3 starter. I'm sorry. It was one of the worst offensive game plans I've ever seen. Just no adaptability from Getsy in the fourth quarter. No getting any running backs involved. And yeah, like I like some of the plays. You know, they had Velus Jones a couple times run the ball. He had some nice runs. Which is rare. You know, usually like we don't really compliment Velus, but you know, when he had the ball, he did good. He did really, really well. It's so frustrating, man. I do think if the Bears run the ball on that 4th and 1, you know, just a standard handoff, I do think they're able to pick up that 1 yard. Same with that 3rd and 1. I can't remember if it was earlier or later, but they had a 3rd and 1, and they ran a fucking reverse to Tyler Scott instead of just pounding the rock with Roshan. God, these things piss me off. Oh my, like. We would be having a playoff conversation right now. At 6-8, 3 straight wins, we would be talking about, look, if we win out, we could definitely get in the tournament. But instead, we're talking about next season because Luke Getsy refused to run the ball. Justin Fields missed a couple plays, but most of them not his fault. Receivers fucked up for him. Darnell Mooney, I can't even fathom that drop. And of course, that 4th and 1 was brutal. That 4th and 1 was just brutal. And yeah, Josh Allen and the Bills. I'm just gonna go over these stats real quick. The Bills played the Cowboys, and Josh Allen, I think he threw the ball. I think he only had 94 yards. Yeah, 7 of 15, 94 yards. Not a great game. He had a touchdown. He said after the game he felt like that guy who does the group project but doesn't actually do any of the work and just gets the good grade. But, you know, you're kind of allowed to do that when you carry the group for most of the time. And that's what Josh Allen was doing. He carried the group for a very long time. All right. Then James Cook had 25 carries. They let James Cook cook. They let him have a good game. They put the ball in the running back's hands and said, here, you take it. Let's win the game the smart way. Honestly, firing Ken Dorsey is looking like a really good move for the Bills. Who's the new offensive coordinator again? Is it no, Joe Brady. Yeah, Joe Brady knows what he's doing. I don't know much about Joe Brady, but I know that he's been in the league for a very long time. And I guess if your last name is Brady and you work in the NFL, that's probably a good thing. Yeah, I guess he was with the Panthers for a little bit, quarterbacks coach for the Bills, and now he's the interim offensive coordinator. And he had a great game plan against the Cowboys. Just run the damn ball. It's not fucking complicated. Doesn't need to be complicated. And that's kind of the best the Bills have looked in a really, really long time. Anyway, I'm going to give an update on the Rams-Saints game. I can't remember who winning helps the Bears more, but the Rams are winning that game right now. They're 27-7 at the end of the third quarter, looking to advance to 8-7. So good for the Los Angeles Rams. They're looking at that 6th or 7th playoff spot. And I'm hoping the Saints get Bears. Look, I'm still hoping the Bears could find a friggin' miracle and make the playoffs. Yeah, they could have done the brotherly shove on 4th and 1. Look how well it worked at the goal line. Yeah, Cole Kmet jumped off sides. And as the announcer pointed out, I think it was Mark Schlereth, I can't remember, like lock arms with the guy next to you on that play. Because then you're all starting at the same time. You can't get a false start if you're like physically touching the person and you're not jumping the gun like that. Yeah, it's a wash for the Bears in this situation. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was mostly a wash in that game. But hey, I live in LA, so go Rams, I guess. Like, it'd be cool if they win and all 3 Rams fans party in the streets of Los Angeles. Yeah, I'm gonna pay another bill real quick, and while I'm doing that, I'm gonna check in with Mr. Chicago, see if he still plans to hop on the show, because I thought we definitely had some stuff to talk about, but Chicago Clubhouse Network is brought to you by Moore's Beer.
Listen, shout out to my man Terrence from Chicago's Clubhouse Podcast, from the Moore's Brewing Company here in Chicago, Illinois. All right, we got bros out here putting out this for the Moors. It's tasty. I didn't even have to come on here lying about this. All right, this tastes like what I like when I drink a beer. I don't drink a beer often because I'm too big and I need to stay off of carbonated drinks. But this is the carbonated drink you need to open up and crack and take a sip. All right, if you want to come out of the dark ages, be educated. All right, get you some of this Moore's brew right here. It's definitely tasty. You can get it in Embark and High Park.
Whoa. I thought we were a team. Where's Mines? And when are we getting in Tempe, Arizona?
I guess we're going to have to find out, man. But everybody out there, for here in Chicago, go to Embark and pick you up some Moors.
Oh, yeah, the ad is over. But yeah, Moore's Beer. Definitely get some. Looks pretty good. I'm not a beer guy, but if I was a beer guy, I'd probably be a Moore's Beer guy. So yeah, good for the Rams. Looking at their playoff spot. I do want to go over the Bears, their chances, which obviously are very, very small, but not impossible. 1% chance of clinching the 6th spot. Well, no, not a 1% chance of 1% chance of clinching the playoffs. What up, T-Nick? Welcome to the show, man. Sorry, it's just me. So expecting Mr. Chicago, not sure where he's at. But yeah, I'm just going to go over the playoff scenario for this weekend in case you're like me and you like holding on to absolutely no hope at all whatsoever. A very, very slim amount of hope, but you're saying there's a chance. There's a chance. The Vikings beat the Lions. If the Vikings beat the Lions, we're out. All right, so go Lions on Sunday. Definitely got to root for the Lions. And then if we lose, we're pretty much out. We're not necessarily out, even if we lose this game, but like for all intents and purposes, like that's like the final nail in the coffin. Final. But yeah, so if the Vikings beat the Lions, if the Lions beat the Vikings and the Bears win, we're still alive. Now, we're barely alive, and we're going to need a lot of things to fall into place on, week 17. But, I like to hold on to that little glimmer of hope. So, yeah. The Vikings are going to lose out because they play the Packers and Lions twice. Yeah, I could see it. I don't trust Nick Mullins, and, if that happens, then great. Then, maybe we sneak in at 8-9. Remember, every team starts the season, now that there's a 17-game schedule and a 17 playoff, instead of, there's more margin for error, you're allowed to lose more games because there are more games. And, instead of starting the season with 36% chance of making the playoffs, every team starts with about a 43% chance of making the playoffs. So that number 7 seed hangs in the balance for a much longer time. Now, that said, I think for whatever reason, we're less likely to get the 7 seed than we are to get the 6 seed. That can't be right? But yeah, we need to win. We obviously need to win. That's the big thing. But look, I'm not holding any. Yeah, I recognize that this season is mostly pretty much over, and that's okay. Well, it's not okay. It's really friggin' annoying. But that's just kind of. And Amp was talking about this on the last show. Like, stop saying we're building. Stop saying we're building. But the thing is, we are building, and I think Ryan Poles is building something good. That being said, it would be nice to get the results a little bit sooner. I don't like waiting. I've never been much of a waiter. It's just not really my thing. Let's see. I wanted to put something else. Yeah, I guess I might as well. I wanted to talk about the Rashard Mendenhall tweet because I thought it was really funny. So Rashard Mendenhall, he talked about, he said like white people need to stop talking about football, which, okay, look, we could talk about football. You don't have to listen, but, we could talk ball. It's fine. But he basically said, I'm sick of average white guys commenting on football. You're not even good at football. We should replace the Pro Bowl with an all black versus all white bowl so these cats can stop trying to teach me who's good. I'm better than your goat. All right. I first of all, like, okay, I'm going to talk about football, and I know I'm an idiot, but you don't have to listen to me. And secondly, if there was some debate afterwards about who would win in the all white versus the all black game, what makes anyone think that the all white team would stand a chance at all? Yeah, McCaffrey might have some yards, but other than that, like, who's guarding Tyreek Hill? Who is guarding Tyreek Hill? No one. We don't have any corners. So, just that pretty much ends that debate right there. Yeah, I won't dive into this too much because it's already probably a little too risky for the show. But I enjoy that conversation. I think it's fun and funny and stimulating and engaging. Mr. Chicago, welcome to the show. What up, Mr. Chicago? Nice of you to show up.
Appreciate it, man.
You good? Everything okay?
Everything's good. Just doing some last minute holiday shopping before I head out of town.
No worries. I know how it is. So just to kind of catch you up on where we're at, I was just lamenting about how pissed I am still about that loss. It's hurting me. It's hurting my family. We're all devastated still. I don't understand how this ended up being an interception. I think it's divine intervention, but like not the fun kind. And I'm just very upset. So I want to get your thoughts.
Well, for starters, the first interception at halftime wasn't a goddamn interception. Let's just get that out of the way. First and foremost.
I hope the NFL needs to go back.
They better recall that shit, or they better review that. It hit the fucking ground, clearly.
Yep.
It did.
Yep.
Listen, man. What alarmed me about this game was after it was the press conference that Donnell Mooney gave to in the locker room after this game. The fact that he said one thing, Flus and Theo said something different, lets me know everybody's not on the same fucking page with this team.
Can you elaborate on that? Can you just let everyone know what was said?
All right. So just for clarification, Donnell Mooney said that he felt like the damn offense got too goddamn comfortable, quote, comfortable, and that they were playing too conservative because they were just happy to be ahead. Now, I need to know at what fucking point in time in this season did any of you goddamn Bears on this team ever felt comfortable? Because you need to be the first goddamn person off this goddamn team. Because there was never a time during this season that we as fans ever felt comfortable with you. So you shouldn't feel comfortable with the goddamn leads that you had, whether it be 3, 10, 17, or 20-point leads. You should never be comfortable.
I think there was about 2 minutes in the Raiders game where I was like, okay, we got this. Other than that, never.
Easy.
Not one moment.
There was not one game this season so far that I felt either we were tied or in the lead or getting ready to score. That was like, you know what? Even with the great shit happening, something really bad is on the fucking horizon.
Even the Panthers game, we're in victory formation and there's a false start. Like,
I was certain we were going to lose that game.
Yeah, I thought we were going to fumble or something. Like, oh my God, it was so bad.
I was certain about the Vikings game the second time. I was just like, This
Oh
is
yeah, when they're throwing all those laterals, I'm like, no, we gotta like, this can't happen. This can't be happening.
There should be no Bears players, Easy, that's ever fucking comfortable with being fucking 5-9. What the fuck are you comfortable about? You all not winning games consecutively like that to even feel comfortable.
As Kobe Bryant once said, job not finished.
It's not
job finished. Job not finished. It wasn't finished. And oh my God, like, so I want to talk a little bit, maybe a little more X's and O's and more about like kind of what Mooney said. I felt like I don't think the Bears got too conservative. I think they got too cute. It felt like they were.
Yeah, well, conservative and cute. See, I put them in the same category. Because listen, all that cute shit wasn't doing nothing. All this toss play this and sweep that and we're going to sit up here and try to fool the best fucking defense in the NFL as if they ain't seen a lot of this shit on film from us or from anybody else for that matter. But that's another point for another day. The point is, it was a point in this game where I said to myself, well, I had us losing this game, but the fact that we're winning this game, maybe we can win this game. And then we fucking lost. Another collapse. Now, here's the thing. Coming into this game, Easy. Now, you and I talked about this, and a few others have talked about this too. Coming into this game, we were somewhat optimistic about the idea that this team could possibly win out. Here is the other scenario I want to throw to all Bears fans listening. If we lose out, Flus and Getsy has to fucking go.
Well, there's no question, Mr. Chicago. There's no question, but I can't see us losing out, and the reason is, we're not, Mr. Chicago, we're not going to lose to the Falcons. The Falcons, look.
I want to believe that, Easy. Listen, you have way more optimism than I do.
I don't think it's not optimism. I don't think it's optimism because I wouldn't personally mind. Well, okay, I don't want to lose out because I want to beat Green Bay. Always, I want to beat Green Bay.
Hell yeah, I do. Listen, don't mistake what I'm saying with me wanting to lose out versus them actually going to fucking lose out or could potentially lose out. Now, I want them to win all these goddamn games remaining, especially that last one. But more specifically, especially that second to the last one, because I live down here in Atlanta, so I want to talk shit to Falcon fans. But that's on my own personal. Well, I
do think you'll get that win. That's the one I'm confident about because.
But I am more concerned about that last game, though. I need that one to fuck their whole season up. I need that one to be the one game that could have potentially got them in the playoffs, and we fucking ruined it. That's what the fuck I need to happen because honestly, now we need too much losing to happen in order for us to even be in the wild card spot. So we still have a slim chance now, a slimmer chance than we did coming into that Cleveland game. But that Cleveland game,
Chicago, I want to address that. I'm going to address that because forgive me if this is loser talk. But, sometimes I'm a Bears fan. I'm a loser, right? Like, we're fucking loser team. So I realized last year when the Lions went into Lambeau Field and beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, last game for Rodgers, and, they spoiled their chance at going to the playoffs, even though they didn't have a playoff spot on the line. Like, there's two outcomes to a Super Bowl that I consider – or to a season that I consider acceptable. One, winning the Super Bowl. And then number two, beating the Packers so they can't get in the playoffs.
Absolutely. Listen, that would bring joy to my life knowing that we fucking screw them over. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I want to also
that is a chef's kiss ending to a season. And that's something I'll be able to live with. Mr. Chicago. Mr. Chicago wants the Bears to be the 2022 Lions. Yeah, I want that too, man. That's kind of where I'm at.
At this point, that's the ceiling. Because we're not in a position to actually win more games than we lose this year. We already fucked that up. So now, at this point, at the very least, we can fuck up somebody else's parade. I would love to pee in the goddamn Green Bay Packers milkshake and make sure that they ass don't make the goddamn playoffs. Absolutely. Yep. But with that said, again, because I think we're overlooking the Arizona Cardinals, despite them being 3-11. They still competing. So we can't look at that as a simple as, easy as win when at this point, this team, there is no guaranteed wins with this team. Now, maybe some other teams you can look at their schedule and say, you know what? Oh, we got them. Oh, we're going to beat them. I don't have that kind of confidence or optimism with this team. I once did, but I've been burned too many times. So I have let that go and told myself, no, just from here on out, just expect us to lose every game. So if we win a game, then I'll be surprised at that. But if we lose, then I was already predicting that we were going to lose anyway. So I told you last week that we were going to lose this Browns game. I said either 20-17 or 13-17, and it was pretty remotely close to that score. But looking at how we lost when we were up yet again this is the third time we were up in the fourth quarter, but this is the fourth game, maybe the fifth game that we actually been up, period, and we lost the fucking game. But the fact that old man Joe fucking Flacco from Delaware. sat here and had 212 fucking yards in the fourth quarter after all this great shit our defense did. They played like shit in the fourth quarter, the quarter that matters the most. So you're going to sit up here and tell me you put on this whole goddamn clinic 1 through 3 quarters. Fourth quarter, y'all got so goddamn comfortable that you let Justin Jones line up against David Njoku, a fucking defensive tackle guarding a tight end. And you thought that shit was cute, or you thought that shit was conservative or smart, or was going to fool their goddamn offense. How fucking stupid is Luke Getsy and Flukes for doing that? That's fireable offense on the face of it. So I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
The fact that Luke Getsy, mind you, we knew how fucking vicious this front four was with Myles Garrett and Jadarius Smith and the whole nine, but yet we wasn't countering their goddamn adjustments by making our own adjustments. We had no slants. We had no fucking alternative to their blitzing our quarterback. Our quarterback was just in duress the entire fucking game.
He was in mortal peril all game. But look, Mr. Garrett, it's not even like it's not even that complicated, because it's like, okay, when you have like, what did you say?
You would think it's not that complicated.
Right. No, but yeah, no, exactly. It's like, okay, so you remember we're up, you're winning against a great defense on the road. You're up by 10. Why? And this is what I was saying earlier. Why aren't you running the ball? Like, why are you not, like, what I think we needed wasn't necessarily about like being more aggressive, more conservative. I think it was about like having some balance to the offense. You can't ask your quarterback to be passing 40 times a game against a defense of this caliber when you have the lead. Now, if you're playing from behind, I understand that a little bit more.
You play desperation football now. If you play from behind, you have to throw the ball now.
Right, of course. But, I'm talking when you have a 10-point lead and a 7-point lead. Roschon Johnson was having a good game, but he only had 5 carries. Why are you not?
Here's the bigger problem with that, Easy. I need this rotational shit to stop as much as it's doing. You're taking the momentum from the current fucking player who was helping sustain the drive by taking him out. He ain't tired. He ain't ready to get out. No. Fuck that. Keep me in here. I want to get some more goddamn touches in here. Stop rotating, trying to have fresh legs in there, hoping you fool the goddamn defense and thinking, oh, well, they going to run it with him because he's in the lineup. No, they fucking saw right through that. Yeah, give Roschon the damn ball again and until they stop him, and stop running right towards him. Well, run towards Myles Garrett with more blocking, so that way we tire his ass out.
Double with triple
running away from him.
Yeah, no, exactly. And the thing is, when you're running the ball like that, if you're able to pound it with Roschon and you're able, but he was grinding out yards. He had a 3-yard. Obviously, 3 yards isn't so much, but getting us to 2nd and 7, and like he had a really big run at the end of the first half, and he had I know he had that run on 3rd and 8 that set up the 4th and 1, and it's just like
that 4th and 1.
There's no reason he doesn't have 10 to 12 carries in the fourth quarter alone. And then if you want to be aggressive, it opens up play action, and you could take your shot downfield to DJ Moore, and you could do stuff like that. It's just like it's not rocket science. But Luke Getsy,
clearly to Luke Getsy is. But see, it's another thing about that drive that we got that 4th and 1. So you thought it was a good idea to pitch it to DJ Moore? You thought it was a good idea to pitch it to our running back? You thought it was a good idea to pitch it at all, or to not fake it with Justin, or fake handoff and have Justin run? And then when you have Justin run, you got motherfuckers missing blocks because Mooney missed a key ass block
missed the block
in that fucking third down that we could have had.
Why is it Mooney in the game? Why is it not St. Brown? Why do you have
And
St. Brown on the roster?
why is Robert Tunyon, of all fucking people, down the damn field getting an opportunity to catch a fucking play action pass, knowing goddamn well we don't fucking utilize him that much in this damn offense?
Well,
For that matter.
He should have had
That should have been Mooney, or that should have been DJ Moore. Why the fuck is that not the key players?
I think part of that play was it was like a tight end, one of those wheel things. But like he should have caught that ball. Like, I'm putting that on Tunyon because he should have caught it. Like
absolutely. But there goes my other point, Easy. I bet not ever fucking see another goddamn bastard from Green Bay, Wisconsin ever on this fucking team again. Not a staff member, not a coach, not a player, not a goddamn towel boy, not the HR manager in the goddamn front office. I bet not see anyone who wore green and yellow coming over here to wear navy blue and orange ever fucking
agreed.
Because you don't fucking deserve that.
Yeah,
we don't fucking I don't want nobody from. I don't give a damn how good he was. I don't want nobody from
Oakland Athletic coming to play for the Bears, man. And that's a baseball team. Like no green and yellow at all. We are navy and orange, and it's also like they are. I think they're all fucking spies. Getsy's a fucking Green Bay mole.
Listen,
Tunyon's a mole.
Getsy at this point, he ain't no more than a goddamn DoorDash delivery driver. At this point, that's all.
And like I said, I wouldn't trust him to deliver my fries without eating them.
Easy, I wouldn't trust him to teach my dog how to bark, and I don't have a fucking dog.
Now, I do have a dog, and I wouldn't touch him. I would not trust him with my dog. Absolutely not. My dad's giving you a shout out, by the way.
I appreciate that. I see that. I appreciate that. But here's the thing, though. So I knew this was going to be a grinded out, hard, aggressive effort, just full of effort kind of game because
absolutely
you got two defense playing at their highs right now, right? So
why are you running a reverse with fucking Tyler Scott on 3rd and 1? Sorry,
I can punch fucking Getsy in the goddamn face, but the thing is, they couldn't run on us. We couldn't run on them. So we had to devise some type of plans and schemes to work around their fucking blitzing because they were blitzing with their front four.
Well, we could run a little with Roshan, though. Roshan was breaking through a bit.
Hey, here's a stupid-ass option. How about on 3rd and 1, you get a goddamn ball to blessing game? That's what the fuck you got the fullback for. Why are you not giving the ball to the fullback at any point in time in the game on short yardage?
I was saying, Michael Burton is like remember he was a fullback for the Bears for a little bit. And he's played for the Saints and the Chiefs. He's like, when it comes to like 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 situations, I'm pretty sure he's like 90% successful or something. Give it to your fullback, man. Give it to Blaze again. Like, let him get a yard.
Just block. Give him the damn ball and let him run. It's 1 yard. You go to the and then the bullshit that happened at the goal line when we got down there off Eddie Jackson's pick. That should have been a fucking touchdown, by the way. But welcome to the fucking season, Eddie Jackson. Thank you, by the way.
Yeah.
But as soon as we got down there, it took us. Now, mind you, all those goddamn plays wasn't because of us, because we had 3 first downs in a row because the goddamn Browns had 12 fucking men on the damn field. But anyway, it took us 5 attempts to get in the fucking end zone. Now, once we did, that was an incredible ass throw. It was an incredible ass escape artist move by Justin Fields. Justin was raising my fucking blood pressure up because I was certain he was about to get his ass knocked and he was going to lose that ball. And he got out of that sack from Myles Garrett and threw a fucking dart to Cole Kmet. That was incredible. There's only 2 goddamn quarterbacks I know that can fucking make that kind of play. That's him, maybe even Mahomes. You can substitute that with Lamar Jackson. But that's the only 2 people I know that can fucking do that.
Mahomes could do it. No, there's no question.
Justin Fields and Mahomes, only two quarterbacks that can fucking do that.
But
the fact that he did that, Easy, it's more alarming to know we didn't score any fucking offensive touchdowns or points in the whole second half. We didn't do a goddamn thing to help the damn defense help us. We did nothing. I'm just like, Luke Getsy, if he – why y'all waiting?
Mr. Steve, are you ready? Are you ready to get riled up? You ready to get riled up with some of these comments?
Go right ahead.
Here you go. All right, trigger warning.
What?
Yeah.
What?
If we had someone with the competence like Joe Flacco, we'd easily be in the playoff hunt.
Okay. So
that's because our QB sucks. He can't read defense, and he just sucks. Okay, the ghost of Judah tribe.
So because he was getting his ass knocked around damn near every single down he threw the ball, he couldn't plant his feet. He couldn't get set in his throw because the goddamn defense was collapsing on him. But that's his fucking fault. He had an offensive coordinator who couldn't order my goddamn food on DoorDash the correct way, but yet we want to have his ass calling plays out there against this defense. And I told you all, I do not trust him against this fucking defense. And lo and behold, what happened? He confirmed my distrust for him against his fucking defense by doing nothing against him. Now, on top of that, now granted, Justin didn't have a great game, but
he did not.
When our quarterback was delivering the goddamn balls to these bastards and they dropping passes, what the fuck else you want him to do? He giving the ball to them on target and they're dropping passes. That's not his fucking fault.
It's not.
Don't dare blame Justin for that.
Also, just to the Browns' credit too, he was making some good throws that were getting knocked away last second by some good defensive plays.
He sure the fuck was.
This is a good defense that he was playing. And
he had some overthrows, but because he had no choice but to get rid of the fucking ball. He had to hurry get rid of the ball before he got his goddamn clock knocked off the damn wall. Like, come on, y'all. I need y'all to think logically about this. I'm not sitting there telling you he had a fantastic game or he's been playing great all year. I'm not saying that. But goddamn, we did not set him up to be successful in this fucking game offensively from his goddamn offensive coordinator or somebody who calls himself a fucking OC and then asked the question when the press asked Flukes about Luke Getsy. He couldn't give us a straight answer like he always fucking does. He was like, no, I like his leadership. I like Luke Getsy. He's a great leader. And we're going to evaluate everything at the end of the season. That ain't answering the fucking question on whether or not you think he's been doing a good job. It's a yes or no question. Has he been doing a good enough job? And your ass better not fucking say yes, or your ass is out the door with him.
Oh man, now Ghost of Judah's just trolling. Nice face plant by Fields on 4th and 1. Remember, he said the NFL is slow for him. He said that one time, man. All right, like
it was in a preseason game. Okay, let's let that go. Okay,
yeah,
it was a preseason game.
Yeah, 8-29. That tells the whole story. Yeah, great.
Okay, because all those goddamn wins and losses are on him. Yeah, I'm not telling you that he's got to blame some of this shit. Absolutely, he is. But to
remember when he gave up points to the Cowboys, that's his fault. Remember when he gave up? When he let the Dolphins score 35 points, that's all on him. All on Justin.
Right. The Eagles game last year, the Bills game. And mind you, we were the worst goddamn team in football, but that's all his fucking fault. He's supposed to usurp all our fuck ups on. Okay, I need y'all to be realistic and reasonable about
with Trevor Siemian. I mean, look, anyone who's saying at this point like Bajan's better than Fields needs to like get their heads.
Guess what? What did Bajan do that was impressive in that goddamn New Orleans Saints game?
He had a couple good throws, but he was mostly shit.
He threw 5 goddamn. He had 5 turnovers in that fucking game, 4 of which were picks.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Ghost of Judah Tribe is just trolling at this point.
Hold on. Let me respond to that last shit he said about him coaching or mentoring Aaron Rodgers. Let me help you understand some shit. All the fuck he did with Aaron Rodgers was laugh at his corny ass jokes, go get his goddamn Gatorade bottle, and fucking reap the benefits of all the goddamn success that piece of shit had while he was in Green Bay. Luke Getsy didn't do shit for him. He ain't tied his goddamn shoe right. He ain't fucking helping him with his footing, with his goddamn positioning. He ain't helping with his throwing mechanism. None of that shit. He did nothing. Him and Nathaniel Hackett did absolutely nothing to help Aaron Rodgers get better at anything. They just his goddamn buddies, and they got their fucking jobs off his fucking name alone.
Yep. They were for all intents and purposes, they were his caddy. They weren't doing anything wise, and that's part of why
they held the towel while he went out there and threw the goddamn ball in drills. They didn't do shit to help him.
That's why I think, part of why Getsy dumb is he's trying to prove that, like, oh no, I'm really smart, you guys. Look how smart I am. I can call all these great plays. No, like you are an imposter, Luke Getsy. Luke Getsy is an imposter. The only reason he has his job is because he happened to be at the right place at the right time with a Hall of Fame level quarterback.
You don't really want me to say why he got his job versus an offensive coordinator who has a pretty lengthy and successful resume.
No, look, you could say
who's still fighting to get a goddamn. See, no, listen. So if we're gonna address that, all right, let's talk about it. So
look, say the quiet part out loud. I'm not afraid of that shit.
All right. So it's white privilege, first and foremost.
You're right.
Let's be real about that. Because if you're gonna fucking tell me that Eric Bieniemy, who doesn't interview well, don't deserve a goddamn head coaching job, but somebody like Nathaniel Hackett gets a coaching job and then turn around and get fired from that job, only to get an OC job that he ain't fucking deserve either. And then Luke Getzey gets an OC job that he ain't fucking earn either. But Eric Bieniemy, who has worked with the greatest fucking quarterback to ever play this fucking game, went to 3 Super Bowls with him, won 2 of them, helped him win MVP, had a potent offense consistently on that goddamn Kansas City Chiefs team, and yet he's still fighting to get a chance to be a fucking head coach. That is the tallest glass of dirty bullshit with some goddamn ice in it. It ain't a goddamn straw that you can sell me to fucking drink from it. That's some bullshit, man.
No, it's absolutely bullshit. And also, we were talking a lot about, we're seeing this in Los Angeles too with Brandon Staley.
Like really? All this talent this man got, you didn't give Anthony Lynn all that goddamn talent. You fired his ass soon as you got Justin Herbert. You didn't give him a chance to actually do anything with them. Not to don't get me started on Brian Flores.
Brandon Staley in the COVID year, I think he finished 8-9 or 8-8. I can't remember how many games there were at that point.
What did he actually do that was really impressive to even be granted a fucking job in LA of all places? With that large market of a team, he gets that job? Really?
It doesn't make any sense to me. I never really, I never ever understood. 2017 to 18, he was with the Bears as the outside linebackers coach. Okay, he follows Fangio to the Broncos. Then he, coordinates the Rams in 2022, their defense. So that's a lot of, Khalil Mack / Von Miller / Aaron Donald, and then he goes over
Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah. No kidding, right? Like
that. So he was on that staff with Kevin O'Connell was on that staff too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah. And Kevin O'Connell. Like, I guess, the Vikings are hanging around despite losing their quarterback, but, you don't think that doesn't have so much to do with Flores? I'm just saying.
This is what bothers me, man, because I've been getting a lot of flack for even making that statement about, he just don't interview well. Who gives a fuck about how good his interview was? I don't give a fuck about who you like and who you don't like. Look at his resume. Can he do the job? Has he done the damn job that he was given? Specifically in the area that he was in with the team that he was in. Look at who the fuck else mount up to the goddamn success that Eric Bieniemy has had with the goddamn Kansas City Chiefs. Nobody else.
All I care about is, do you know ball?
Do you know it?
Ball. That's all. That's the only thing that matters.
And how well and how successful have you been at knowing this shit? What the fuck? No one has yet to answer me what Nathaniel Hackett and Luke Getzey ass did to get the jobs that they have. Not a goddamn thing. That should tell you something. These goddamn GMs and presidents and owners are hiring people they like. I don't give a fuck about who you like. I give a fuck about you hiring the right person who can do the damn job. At the very least, I'm not sitting up and telling you that Eric Bieniemy would be the greatest head coach ever, but you won't even give him a fucking chance.
Yeah, the fact that he hasn't. I do think, and I could be wrong, I do think he's the heir apparent in I do think that he's the heir apparent in Washington. I think that he will take over.
And there's speculation of that. Now, obviously, we both read that he could possibly be looked at over here too, because I know Kevin Warren has a relationship with him, and obviously Poles does too. But I will say, I hope that we're looking at him. I do hope that, because if we let him choose to go, Eric Bieniemy is my first choice. My first one. Much I love Jim Harbaugh, I'm not fixated on that, because Harbaugh, as far as I know, he's not going to leave Michigan. And no, he win a national title, he ain't going to leave.
But look, I honestly, for me, Harbaugh, Bieniemy, that's neck and neck for me. Like, I wouldn't mind either. Also, I wouldn't mind if Flores wants to leave Minnesota, give him another shot as a head coach. Like, I wouldn't mind that either. I'm just saying, I like what he does. I like that
he knows how to blitz. He knows how to put together some goddamn blitz packages. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, and by the way, I also want to say, and this is something I was talking about a little earlier, and that is, and you might not agree with me on this, but I like Ryan Poles. I officially like Ryan Poles, and my reasoning.
I do.
My reasoning. Let me explain. Let me just explain real quick, because the Claypool move was a disaster, but I admire, first of all, that he took that swing. I think that's commendable that he went, he took a shot, he fucked it up.
Get him all right. You won't get him all right.
He's not going to get him all right, but he took a shot. Yeah. And even though he knew he fucked up that move, he still made a move this year that has absolutely been successful in getting Montez Sweat.
Montez Sweat was listen. I told people that was a desperation move. That was to completely redeem and usurp the fuck up with Chase Claypool. 1, 2. That was also to put another notch in his belt as a GM, saying, "Hey, I went out there to go get the goddamn a young, strong, talented playmaker on defense on this line to help us get to the goddamn quarterback more." And it could potentially be a fucking flus, a job saver too if we went out. So those different scenarios played in my mind when we first made the trade. I wasn't ever regretting that we made the trade. I was like, see, if our defense was already playing great, we would need Montez Sweat. Now, so to let you know, this was a desperation move. Absolutely, it was. Look, I'm glad we made it because I love what Sweat is doing.
Whatever the motive, I'm not. Look, I'm not as cynical about the motive as you are because, like, whatever the reason, we have a really, really good pass rusher now, and the defense looks really good for the most part. And I'm happy with that. Like we have, and also, not just that he's a warrior. He's one of those guys that like he's played through injuries. Like he's a tough son of a gun, and he's and like I mean, I'm
I
also
need
like
him more in those critical downs. All this subbing out shit. Don't do that shit no more, man. I need you in there till the goddamn clock hits 0. Because we can't sustain a lead long enough to just fucking just win the game. We got to be like, oh no, we don't win the game until we win the game. Like that's fucking terrible.
I agree with that. I want to see him. He's one of those guys that like run down, pass down, whatever. He should be in the game. Like he plays it really well. And obviously, like I'm not calling him like a Myles Garrett level talent, but he's still like an elite player.
His numbers look real Myles Garrett-ish this year.
Yeah.
He got 12.5 sacks. The most
he leads
right
2 teams in sacks.
Yeah, Khalil Mack is leading the league in sacks with I think 15 or 16. So he ain't far from that. So I mean, he have a great game this game. He can easily be tied as the sack leader of the season. So
Brandon Staley really has 2 Hall of Fame pass rushers and gave up 63 points to the Raiders.
Jesus Christ. Well, Bosa wasn't out there, so Bosa's been hurt.
Sure. Okay.
But
there
Mac,
we go.
But Mac has been
out
there by himself. Mac's still been wreaking havoc, but he's just been alone doing the shit. Like it ain't been stopping the needle very much with that game last week. I mean, I was almost certain they were going to score 80 points.
Yeah,
I was almost certain.
I like that Antonio. Is it Pierce? Antonio Pierce.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that he kept the foot on the gas. Like he was like, no, I want to.
They better give him that fucking job. They better give him that.
I don't think Mark Davis is going to fuck that up again because I thought they should have given the job.
Mark's been fucking up quite a bit. So
I think they should have given the job. I think they should have given the job to Bisaccia when he helped them get to the playoffs in 2021. But obviously they didn't go that route. So now they can't fuck this up. Pierce is a good coach.
They paid out over $100 million plus almost $200 million to 2 goddamn coaches. What does that tell you, man? Like you're still paying a coach that you just fired and a coach you fired 2 years ago. So I mean, shit. Let me hurry get that damn job so I can get fired.
If you want to talk about white privilege, Josh McDaniel is the poster child.
Absolutely.
Someone who
John Gruden too.
Yeah, Gruden too. But I look one time.
Give him that much money and that much power. Yeah, look, you're not giving black coaches that.
Gruden, I will say, my Gruden story is my dad. If he's still listening to the show, he met John Gruden and he had John Gruden call me, and John Gruden was really cool on the phone. So I always have a soft spot for Gruden on a personal level. But I
think coach, I mean, let's be real. He benefited from Tony Dungy's Tampa Bay team once they let him go and replaced him with him. So I mean,
sure,
but it's not to say that he don't know football. Absolutely, he does. But
but my point being, just aside from that, like Josh McDaniel specifically, he goes to coach the Broncos. He wins 6 games by cheating.
Terrible.
Like he was caught cheating, and then after he was caught cheating and they weren't cheating anymore, he couldn't stop losing. He could not stop losing. And
he was better off staying the OC. And that's the thing, man. Some of these goddamn coaches, I get you have dreams and aspirations to want to be a head coach. Stay in your lane, man. Like not everybody ain't meant to be a head coach. Sometimes you're just a great defensive coordinator or a great offensive coordinator. Stick with that. You're not the leader of men like that.
I think Eberflus is a good example of that. Like he's a good defensive coordinator.
He clearly is a good defensive coordinator. He is not a good head coach because his critical decision making is fucking piss poor. This is terrible.
Awful. It's
You
awful.
can't keep losing games that you were. Listen, they sat up here and said, entering the fourth quarter. Now, this was NFL statistics and next gen stats that the Bears had a 0.3% chance to lose this game going into the fourth quarter, being up 17-7, and we fucking lost the game. We're making historical. We're making history
My dad
in the longest
sent
way.
me a stat. He sent me a stat this week where I think it was like teams when they have like 3 turnovers and 3 sacks. They were 90-3 or something like that. Well, and now they're 90-4.
All 3 of those.
Now they're 90-4.
Well, yeah,
so,
not 4. So, and all those losses were ours. That's how fucking sad this is.
No, it sounds like something we would have done in like 2000, 2008, 2009. That sounds like a Bears loss.
I want to say we did all that shit in this one year. I mean, it's just it's so daunting to me to know that we started off so terrible the first fucking month this season, and then we started to pick it up. Oh well, it ain't how you start, it's how you finish. But look at how we're finishing. We're not even finishing strong enough and being consistently on the goddamn with our foot on the goddamn gas pedal, running the score up. Like I have literally counted between 17 and 21 fucking points missed or still on that field that we left on that field that we did not fucking score. That is too alarming to me. As a head coach, you cannot afford to have collapses like that consistently in the same season. You can't stay a head coach doing that, man. And I do not feel as confident, easy as you with this Arizona game, with this Falcon game. It shouldn't even matter if I'm confident about the Green Bay game. We just better not fucking lose that game. That's just it. That's a fireable offense. Everybody got on me about that. Oh, you're going to fire a coach off one game? That's the most important goddamn games to fucking win. If we'll win no other games, we win the Green Bay games, that shit matters.
If we lose to Arizona and Atlanta but beat Green Bay, then like sure, keep them all. I don't give a shit. Not really.
No. Still get rid of Lugetti. But
get rid of. I mean, keep Bieber, please get rid of
that Green Bay game because I'm going back to what Poe said, and I quote: "We're gonna take the North, and we're never giving it back." But guess who? The motherfuckers who've been basically taking ownership of the fucking North. It's been them. If we can't beat them, then what the fuck does it matter if we beat Detroit, Minnesota? We ain't gonna win the damn division only just beating them.
Look,
we're not.
When Lovie Smith took the job, you know what he said? Number 1 goal is to beat Green Bay.
That's
Second
the goal.
Game of the year, he beats Green Bay. And
that's the goal.
Yeah, that is the goal. Look, it is a rite of passage to make the playoffs for the Bears. You have to beat the Packers. Every year,
you have to
beat the Packers at least once. 2005, we swept them. 2006, we won one, and then we had the subs game against them where Rex Grossman didn't prepare, but we still beat them early in the season. 2010, we beat them on Monday Night Football. Obviously, ended sad. 2018, we beat them to win the division to get into the playoffs. Like, you have to beat Green Bay and Chicago if you want to make the playoffs. And we have not beat them since Mitch
and to win this division, you have to beat Green Bay to win this division.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm holding out hope. January 7th, I'm excited. I'm gonna, I regardless of what happens these next 2 weeks, I'm gonna be obviously all in for the Bears. I don't give a shit about draft position. I don't care about any of that.
I don't care about that either.
When it comes to the Packers, winning is far and away the most important thing.
The most important thing every time.
I wanted to touch on this real quick too. I want to talk about, like I said, we were talking about a little bit earlier. Late in the game against the Browns with the lead, like, can we talk about the importance of establishing the running game, like with a Roschon?
And burning the fucking clock. Absolutely.
Burning the clock. And like, why is Roschon not out there? Like, why are we like I don't like, why have they not given it? Like, I feels like every time
he carries the Foreman have in that game. I mean,
he had 6 carries for -6 yards. He had a bad game. Not all his fault, but it was a bad game.
And obviously, Khalil Herbert didn't do much of anything either. So,
Khalil Herbert, 6'8", nothing. But Roschon, 5 carries, 36 yards. He had
that big 20+ almost 30-yard run, and and then it was nothing else after that. Like, because we're not even giving him a chance to fucking do anything.
He had some positive plays. He had the run. He had that one that set up a 2nd and 7 where the next play Justin Fields got sacked. He had a run. I think he had the one that set up the 4th and 1 too. So like it wasn't all bad. Like he had a couple nice runs.
We had Cleveland by the balls the first half of the game when they stupid asses decided to challenge DJ Moore's fucking catch. If there's one goddamn thing you should know about DJ Moore is he know how to catch that motherfucking ball and he know where the fuck to plant his goddamn feet. So there was no reason they could have they should have went for that damn challenge. But since they did, they lost their damn timeout. Now we had them by the rope because they had one timeout left in the first half. So we should have been utilizing that time to burn the clock and make them have to use that damn timeout. We had 3 of our timeouts then when we didn't have them on that last fucking play of the first half. Now, granted, the statement was made by Fluke saying that the wind was blowing against us. It was muggy out there. It was raining. It was cold. Santos, now, if we in a fucking dome, you get his ass out there and kick that goddamn field goal.
No question.
In that weather inclement conditions, nah, I didn't. Listen, your chance of making that field goal is just the same as making a goddamn Hail Mary play. It really wasn't much of a difference.
Look, I forgive not kicking the field goal there because, look, we've seen, as Bears fans, we've seen long field goals go horribly wrong. Remember Nathan Basher in the win?
Yep.
That was cool.
110 yards back.
Yeah. And Devin Hester, like he got
I think Tillman got one too. Yeah. Well, we have the record for the most of those and the longest ones too. So I'm like
Tillman had like fumble returns. Tillman had all sorts of returns for touchdowns. Yep. He had 2 block punts. Tillman did everything. And I'd love to do a show where I just talk about why Charles Tillman should be in the Hall of Fame, but
he better be. Yeah.
He damn well better be. I mean, look, he averaged,
and Lance Briggs better be in the Hall of Fame. Really
Tillman averaged half a turnover a game.
He really did. Easily.
That's something Deion Sanders didn't do. That's something Revis didn't do. That's something Cromartie didn't do. Like this is a special.
He has the most forced fumbles in NFL history among corners.
Defensive backs, yes. And it's not really
that's easily a gold jacket nomination. Easily.
Yeah, no, and it's not even that close. I think Charles Woodson's next with like 33.
Right.
Or 36 maybe, but and then Brian Dawkins is up there. So those are Hall of Famers.
Yep, sure are.
Why not Peanut? Why not Peanut? Noah Gross.
The Hail Mary play, I didn't mind the Hail Mary play. I didn't necessarily like it, but I mean,
I could forgive that.
Given the weather conditions, it was just like I just wish we would have gotten closer.
So we
had better fucking plays called to get us closer to making that a much more convenient and easier field goal to make. But we didn't fucking do that.
That was when he did. I think he threw it quick to Mooney, and there was just a really good defensive play. Like that. No. That was one of those.
Mooney dropped 3 passes in this play in this game.
Mooney had a bad game. Mooney, and he missed the block too. And
that's a fucking catch, Easy. How the fuck you're sitting down? You got it.
I think he's pregnant or something.
Gather the shit, man.
How does it?
And even with Tanyan, Easy, he had 3 opportunities to come down with the ball. The initial touch of the ball, the tip with the left hand, then the tip with the right hand again. So you had 3 chances to just bring the motherfucker in and come down with the ball. And you did nothing. Now, on that play, Easy, Cole Kmet gave probably the greatest fucking block on that play that I have ever seen anybody give against Myles Garrett. By his fucking self, by the way.
Yeah, no.
That he bought Justin all that time, make that beautiful last throw, only for the shit to fall fucking-complete.
Yeah, no.
We did all that work for nothing.
Honestly, I credit Cole Kmet for having balls of steel and just standing in against Myles Garrett.
You know how hard it is. You know how big Myles Garrett is. And mind you, Cole Kmet ain't a fucking small goddamn chicken either. But I'm just like, Myles Garrett is different big.
No, Myles Garrett is, like I said on the behind the scenes of the last show, he's he's not Reggie White, but he's the closest thing we've had in a while. And
usually I don't like comparisons, but that's a pretty fair comparison when it comes to his disruption in the play
and just
his overall makeup and his build. Yeah, absolutely. I can agree.
Just what he does to a game, and for Cole Kmet to stand in there just fearlessly, that's a guy. One thing I'll commend. I
give him a lot of credit for that.
I commend Kmet just on this season in general. I think like we're paying him a lot of money, and I think he's doing a good job. He's been a solid player.
I'm gonna give kudos to Cole for playing tougher. You know what I mean? Because it's been a lot of times he was getting bullied out of his fucking routes. He was going to go up against smaller goddamn defenders, making him drop the passes and shit, or not coming down with him, and either forcing turnovers out of him. But he's playing tougher now, and I could appreciate that for him.
And I want to see them. I've been critical of more. I want to see them use him more. Like, on third and long or something. Like, why can't we find him settling?
And not no goddamn tight end screens.
Yeah, not on fucking screens. Like, I don't want to see any of that shit. I want to see him, run Jason Witten routes and just like find soft spots in the zone. And I'm sure he's capable of doing that.
That middle is always there, man. That middle is, and at least 90% of the time, that middle is there.
Yeah, it's frustrating, man. But like, again, I'm glad we're able to we got to find bright spots. That's what Bears fans do. Like, you got to find some bright spots, and a bright spot is certainly Cole Kmet. Like, I credit him. And also, nice touch. He had a false start, which was bad, but he made up for it with a nice touchdown catch on the brilliant play from Fields.
That was a beautiful catch, and it was a beautiful throw. Now, I'm also give credit to Tyreek Stevenson made an incredible fucking interception. I mean, the way he read it, timed it, and jumped in front of it to dive and catch this shit.
He played two sides of the field.
I was like, a rookie.
That man's going to get paid.
Goddamn rookie.
He's going to get a nice contract one day.
That was incredible, man.
That was a special play because he's, that's that cover 3 where you could take the seam or you could take the outside route, but it's hard to take both.
Yep.
He took both.
Especially given the situation that we were put in to have we had the ball and then we didn't do shit with it, only for them to get because we went for that 4th down, I believe, on that play. And we didn't get it. So we turned the fucking ball over in a bad spot.
Trent Taylor fumbled. Remember? He muffed the punt.
Oh, that was a muff punt. That's what the fuck. Yeah, that's another thing. Easy. What the fuck do we have him back there doing? He just back there for decorations. What the fuck is he doing?
Look, he's been reliable until this last game.
Really? Because I ain't see him do much of shit. All I see him doing is fair catching every goddamn thing.
My philosophy on punt returners is Chicago fans, we're all very spoiled by Devin Hester.
Very much so. And rightfully so.
Well, sure, but like Devin Hester doesn't grow on trees. You're not going to get a bunch of Devin Hesters, and I don't want Velus Jones back there.
Cincinnati, though. He was pretty good with Cincinnati.
Yeah,
I think he averaged maybe
he got them okay returns,
20-some yards, a return or some shit. Like, he was up there.
No, he was pretty good, but like my take on that is, for my punt returner, I just want a guy who's going to catch the ball and get some yards. Like, I don't care about just don't muff the punt. And then he fucked up.
As soon as he did that, the first thing I thought about was, well, I know Velus Jones like shit. I'm glad it wasn't me.
Yeah, no, Velus.
I'm just like, Velus did okay. I'm just
Velus had some nice plays. Velus had some nice plays. Look, when he gets
incorporate him in the offense more, get his confidence back up, man. His confidence is shot to hell.
When that man has the ball in his hands, he's very fast. Like he's got some Tariq Cohen vibes to him, and I think they should definitely involve him more. If you're going to do a jet sweep, don't do it to Tyler Scott. Do it to Velus because Velus actually has like wheels. Like that guy could
fast too. But I'm like, what fucking good is having all this goddamn speed and we ain't utilizing them well enough anyway? Because Luke Getsy don't know how to fucking fit these players in scenarios in this offense in these plays he's fucking calling. He don't know how to utilize these. We got weapons that can be utilized if the correct person was goddamn calling the plays. But he's not doing that. He's just, okay, let me see if I can go for a sweep the opposite way this time. I went for it, the sweep, the first time that way. Now we're going to come from that way back to this way.
Yeah, so that's his playbook.
You fool the defense, huh?
His playbook is screen, then flip play, another screen, then flip play, another screen.
Yeah, toss play. The toss play.
You know what? I'll play the video real quick. I'll play the meme I put together of how Getsy picks plays. It's like
turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit tired. Listen to the sound of my tears. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit nervous that the best of all the years have come by.
Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit terrified, and then I see the look in your eyes.
Turn around, bite eyes. Every now and then I fall apart.
And I need you now tonight. And I need you more than ever
So yeah, that is how Getsy views plays. He don't give a shit. He doesn't want to run power. He doesn't want to, run verts. He doesn't want to run slants. But you show him a screen. You show him a screen. He's gonna fall in love immediately. And that's why I'm like,
here's my thing though. At this point, because I said this a few games ago, there was no fucking reason to keep him around. We could have just had the goddamn special teams coach the goddamn offense and just watch Justin work. Like Luke Getsy, what purpose does he fucking serve? Because he's playing. He ain't just playing conservative. He's playing scared as shit. He's playing redundant as fuck. He has no adjustments. He has no readjustments to the adjustments being made by the fucking defense of the opposing team. And then you're not even utilizing the very goddamn fucking speedsters and goddamn playmakers that you have enough to get the most out of them. What the fuck are you doing?
It's I think it's amazing, and it's tough for people to understand, but it's like, like for casuals to understand really is that like it's like the reason why we're so hard on this guy is because anyone could do the job better. Like, there's
literally
no reason,
anyone.
There's no reason for this guy to have this job at this point because he's shown so much ineptitude. He's not going to grow. He's not going to get better at it. Like, why not just let the, let the fucking ball
court, man. At this point, goddamn it, just go on Madden 24 and ask Madden. Madden to come up with it. God rest John Madden. So John Madden will give me a better play to fucking run than this bastard.
Yeah, AI Madden will get you, he'll get you a good call. He'll call a mesh. He'll call something that gets open over the middle. It's just like they don't use the fucking middle. And also, like, and as JB was pointing out, they're doing a lot of press man. Where were the deep shots to DJ Moore? Why not take some deep shots to DJ Moore on a press man? I think there was one deep shot to DJ Moore, but it was the pressure was there immediately, and so it was overthrown. But yeah. Anyway, we're gonna wrap up pretty soon. I want to have one more conversation with you because we did have the we did talk a little bit about race. And did you hear about the Rashard Mendenhall tweet?
No, I didn't hear about it.
All right, so I'm gonna put it up. Basically, I'm sick of average white guys commenting on football. Y'all ain't good at football. Replace the Pro Bowl with an all-black, all-white bowl so these cats can stop trying to teach me who's good. I'm better than your GOAT. First of all, I want to address. Okay, I'm a white guy.
That was the one. Okay, I didn't realize that was him that posted that. Okay.
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna keep talking about football. I know I'm an idiot. No one has to listen, right? Like that's fine. But also, like, there were people responding to that saying the white team had a chance. Like, who's guarding Tyreek Hill? I'm sorry, like, who is going to guard that guy? Like, it just, that's just something that I thought was really funny. And that
he's the most dangerous player in the NFL.
And also, there's no white corners. Like, that's kind of a glaring.
The last white corner I can remember was Jason Sehorn. He was pretty good.
And he eventually even had to move to safety, too.
Yeah, he did.
There is a guy.
Because he was getting hurt too many damn times.
There is an Iowa corner who's coming out in the draft. Cooper, something DeJean. Yeah, Cooper DeJean. He's going to be a safety. He'll be moved to safety. But yeah, But anyway, I just thought it was a funny little conversation. But yeah. Anyhow, we're gonna wrap up. But let's give our predictions. Get them on the record. What do you think happens? Arizona coming to Chicago. Give us your final score.
Oh man. Again, easy. My optimism is shot, man. And this goddamn last game confirmed that. I said we lose a close game, 20-13. I said we lose this game.
Really?
Much as I really want to win this game, the efforts of Arizona's defense, their efforts versus Luke Getsy's play calling, I'm going to win money easily off the Arizona defense.
Plus, Kyler Murray is going to make a play that just
absolutely.
Like, he's going to make a play.
He's another goddamn very sharp, precise escape artist. He know how to get out of shit. So he know how to throw that bitch down the field. Now, mind you, they don't have a whole lot of playmakers over there, so I'm not concerned. I'm not that concerned with their offense, but I'm afraid that we're going to end up having another goddamn collapse like we did in the fourth quarter. Again, I'm really concerned about that, and we're not going to capitalize on it. So scoring 13 unanswered, Cleveland scoring that much unanswered, meaning we didn't stop them, and we didn't score no goddamn points in counter of their fucking points. I'm worried that we're not going to score enough fucking points.
Yeah, I hear you, and I mean, it's not like Arizona's bad, but they're not Carolina bad.
No, they're not.
And Jeremy's
and they're giving out effort. They're still playing with heart and effort out there, despite them being 3-11.
Yeah, no, they're playing hard. They wanna do well, and I can respect that. Commendable effort, and I appreciate them winning some games to help the Bears draft stock. But Jeremy's got 31-24 Bears up 24-7. Going into the fourth, defense gets soft. Bears find a way to win. I could see that happening. I think the Bears. I do think the Bears will win this game, which might be naive of me, but I'm gonna say really ugly 19-16 game. Bears find a way to get it done. If the Lions win, keep their playoff hopes, very slim playoff hopes alive for one more week. I hope I'm right this time around. Usually, I hope I'm wrong, but I hope I'm right.
I hope I don't want the Vikings to go. I don't mind Detroit. They're gonna get it put out first round any goddamn way. So let's be real about that. I don't want the Vikings going. The Vikings
I don't either.
Going to goddamn playoffs.
I don't give a shit about the Vikings. Yeah. But also if you want to be like me and be the idiot holding on to the tiny bit of hope that the Bears find a way to sneak in, then you got to root for the Lions this week. Because if the Vikings win,
absolutely. And we'll revisit that if we win this game. Then we'll talk about playoff implications and things like that, or possible. But it's a lot of losing that has to happen in order for us to be back in that race, wholeheartedly. Like right now, we have some chance, but
we need a lot of help. But right now, all we can control is Arizona.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Listen, that's exactly how I feel.
100%.
We win a game.
I've never empathize with Jim Mora so strongly.
Those words fall to be very prominent and very relevant to today's time.
Yes. Oh no, completely. And it's amazing how well that holds up. That's a timeless quote. So shout out Jim Mora.
It is.
Also, shout out the chat. My dad, Robbo. I'm going to call you Robbo because that's what people call you. Thank you, of course, for joining the show.
Much
Jeremy, as always.
Absolutely.
Jeremy, as always, great of you to tune in. The Ghost of Judah tribe, even though you got some absolutely asinine takes.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you joining in and giving us stuff to talk about.
Yep.
T-Nick obviously tuned in for a little bit. Appreciate that. Amp, Crooked Gamish, of course. Very, very grateful. And Ace and Lorenzo. Love having you guys. Glad y'all, came to listen. And also shout out Noah Gross for being the first guest. And shout out you, Mr. C. Always fun chopping it up.
Yes, sir.
And, we will see you next time. I'm going to go ahead and sign out once I find the video. Here it is.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse.